स्वं बोधमात्रं परिशुद्धतत्त्वं विज्ञाय सङ्घे नृपवच्च सैन्ये तदात्मनैवात्मनि सर्वदा स्थितो विलापय ब्रह्मणि विश्वजातम्।
अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल।
ओम नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। हरिः ओम। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्या जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यम् आद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तं विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम् ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओंकाररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तमपाकरोतु सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभितां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मनि अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। As ever, Nitya Swadhyaya, we are continuing Vivekachudamani. Yesterday we saw two verses, I think 8 and 9. अतो विमुक्त्यै प्रयतेत विद्वान्. Let that wise one strive for liberation. Sanyasta Vahyartha Sukasprihassan, having renouncing all the interest in external matters and pleasures from the world. After that, what should he do? Santam Mahantam Samupetya, approaching a Jnani, a Jivan Mukta, Deshikam. He should be a Deshika, one who can reveal the truth to him. Samupetya Tena Upadishtartha Samahitatma. Getting his Upadesha, this disciple also has to become a Samahitatma. Means his mind should get absorbed in Atma. So here, Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami, see, sometimes the problem is, people, many devotees, they pray we should talk on Vivekachudamani Shastras. But when I come and sit here, new people come who have no idea about this. And how much water can I pour into it? It is not possible. So, I have to talk the Shastra as Shastra. There is no other way. No question of dilution of it. So, Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami, who has written the commentary to this work, it's a grand commentary. And the commentary itself is the fruit. Actually, it reveals the power of Vivekachudamani, because once we start writing a commentary to one book, we will see to it that the commentary is complete. If you have left the commentary in the very beginning, that is a different thing. But you have reached almost the end, somehow you will try to finish it. Only 50 verses in the 85 verses. There he stopped the commentary. Then many devotees, especially the next Shankaracharya, they all prayed, why don't you complete the commentary? Then Swami said, my mind now is absorbed. No sankalpa to do anything. It is over. And they also stopped it there, because that itself shows the power of the work, the profundity of the work. So they are all very orthodox, traditional sannyasis. And Shankaracharya also, of course, is the beginning of it. So the commentary also will be like that. Shishyebhyo jnanam dishati iti deshikaha. The Shishya has to go to a Deshika. Somehow this word Deshika is used in Tamil also, many places. Kaivalyanamani Tatthala varade, Gurukku Deshikan. Deshikan, Shishyan ivvaru kura Deshikan magilundu nokki. So Deshikan is one who points out the self to the disciple. So, Shishyebhyaha jnanam dishati iti deshikaha. The Deshika, the Guru, directly points out jnanam. He reveals jnanam to the disciple. Such a one is Deshika. Tam samupetya yathaviti upasadya. With real reverence, with bhakti, the disciple has to approach the Deshika. Tena guruna upadishtaha yaha arthaha. And Shankaracharya is very, very strict. He says sampradayavit. The Guru should have come in sampradaya. Sampradaya means there are so many signs for that. First of all, it should be an authentic lineage, not somebody suddenly proclaiming, I have attained enlightenment. So, asampradayavit murkavadubekshaniya. If he has not come in the real sampradaya, he should be ignored, says Shankaracharya. So here, to such a teacher, the disciple goes, Guruna upadishtaha yo artaha brahmarupaha. By listening to the teacher, he is a vidwan. There also, Chandrasekhar Bharati Swami says, vidwan means what? He has already understood the scriptures. Now he is ready to have that vishranti, that abidance in the self. He has already understood the scriptures. And not only that, one more thing he says, that of course we have to say, Sarva karma sannyasam vina asambhavat. There he says, without sarva karma sannyasa, he cannot abide in samadhi. No distraction from the world, no karma, no action. So this is all very, very traditional thing, because sannyasa itself is actually for those who are engaged in rituals, karma. Already they have no worldly actions. They are only doing these actions, Vedically prescribed actions. And now they have to give up that also, and engage in listening, contemplation and meditation. Nothing else. No other action. To such people, especially in a very traditional orthodox society, it is not that easy to give up all Vedic karma without a license, without a certificate. So that certificate is sannyasa. So sannyasa is actually not needed for a independent spiritual seeker. It is for a person who has come in the traditional lineage. So he, after giving up everything, goes to the Guru and asks him that Brahmopadesha, that Mahavakya Upadesha. And from that, he directly recognizes his Swarupa. It is just like, you get a spark, then what do? You blow it up. You blow it till it becomes fire. Like that, you get a spark of Swarupa. Then you go on meditating on that without any distraction, absolutely focused, no other work. Tenopadishtartha samahitatma. This is how the person has to lift himself. Uddharana should be done like this. Uddharet atmana atmanam. Don't depend on anybody else. Atmana atmanam means the person has to lift himself by samadhi, by atma vichara alone, no other sadhana. He should not take help even from upasana or external actions or anything. Nothing. No help from anything. He directly takes refuge at the Atma, his own self. No any outer God also. Any outer thing also. Are we ready for that? That is the question. So, no other outer refuge. Atmana Atmanam. Completely surrendering to one's own. The ego surrenders to the self. The whole process begins here, ends here. No outer thing. No puja patram, no lamp, no pushpam, udupati, nothing. Nothing outside. Everything begins here and ends here. All outer paraphernalia, all things are over. Now, here the lifting happens, like the mind is taken to the heart. As Bhagavan's language, it is take the mind to the heart, over. Nothing else. So, Tadeva Snanam, Tadeva Sandhya. Shankaracharya says his taking bath is that, Sandhya Vandanam is that. So, even Snana is not there. That much absorption is expected. After knowledge, he is absolutely free. So, uddhared atmanatmanam. Magnam samsara varido. The person has fallen in samsara means what? Here Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami says he has not fallen any outer samsara. He has fallen into his own mind. Manaiva karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind is samsara, mind is ocean of samsara, misery. He has fallen into his own mind. That is Magnam, is drowned there. So, from there he has to lift himself by yogarudhatva. Yogarudhatva we yesterday gave the meaning, the stillness of the self, the Swarupa Nishtha. That he has to achieve by right knowledge. Samyak darshana and Samyak darshana nishtha. Samyak darshana first comes. True knowledge comes, then nishtha comes. Abidance comes. Nishayena sthitihi. Constant reflection, meditation and abidance in his Swarupa. Nothing else. By that, the person lifts himself from samsara samudra. So this is uddhared atmanatmanam magnam samsara varidho yogarudhatvam asadhya samyak darshana nishtaya shravana mananadi shastriya samskara samskritam manaha yada bhavati tada brahmashunyam atmayatatmya jnana avaptya bhavati iti aviveki manaha shastrajanya vivekavata manasa uddharet anatmabhyo apanayet. Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami says, by Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana, when the mind is absorbed in Atma Yathatmya Jnanam, the true knowledge of Atma Tattva, then by that the mind should be refined. The mind should be lifted from the lower plane. Bhagavan says in Ramanacharanatirtha, Kirmayai Parshai Arunachala. Close all the doors by which I will go down. No going down again. Kirmayai Parshai Arunachala. So that is yogarudhatvam. Tatha cha tasmin parangmukhatva swabhavyat bahyeshu sharirādishu sakte vastutaha asangasyapi lohitaspatikavat samsaktasyeva bhasamanasya atmanaha upadhehe anatma sambandha bhave pratyangmukhataya atmamatra samsthatve cha atma udhritaiva bhavati iti bhavaha. Actually, there is no uddharana for Atma because Atma is ever free, eternally free. But like, you have some optical illusion. With some glass, you look at the face will look like elongated. Like that, this Atma is seen. You just remove that optical illusion, then you know that you were eternally free, you are free, and you can never be bound. So this knowledge, this perfect jnanam is uddharana. Samsara varidau magnam atmanam yogarudhatvam asadhya samyak darshana nishtaya atmana uddharediti anvayaha. Yogarudhatvam vishadayanneva shravana manana nididhyasanasani sannyasa uttarakalikani. After sannyasa, only work is shravana, manana and nididhyasana. For a vividisha sannyasi, for the vidvat sannyasi, only samadhi, nothing else. And even samadhi, Sadashiva Brahmendra says, for a Jivan Mukta, romba beautiful. Sadashiva Brahmendra says, for a Jivan Mukta, samadhi is also not needed. But what will he do? Sadashiva Brahmendra says, although he has attained everything, sarvatmatam upagatopi munihi samadhim purvanuvrittam ayate samayapanutye. The Muni has attained sarvatma bhava. He has become one with all. Then what will he do? Purva parichaya. Formerly he was practicing samadhi before attaining this jnanam. Now, for the sake of time pass, he engages in that. And he gives the example of a Chakravarti, an emperor who has conquered. No enemy for him. He is the sovereign monarch. Oru kudai nidarku, as Bhagavan says. When he gets time, what does he do? He just plays chess. Chaturangam. Paryapta sarva vibhavaha kshitipopi samyak kurute chaturangalilam. Kala niryapanaya gurute chaturangalilam. Kala niryapana is time pass. For time pass, he just plays chaturangam. Like that, the Jivan Mukta also, when he gets time, spends in samadhi. So here, says samyak darshana nishta, and then that state of absorption. So here, actually for that only sannyasa. Means what? I need only food, nothing else. Bhiksha. The rest of the time, don't disturb me. This is the meaning of sannyasa. It is not after taking sannyasa you go around everywhere. It is for don't disturb me. This is the sign of it. So, sanyasya sarva karmani. Next shloka. Sanyasya sarva karmani.
Sanyasya sarva karmani.
Bhavabandha vimuktaye.
Bhavabandha vimuktaye.
Yatyatam panditair dhiraihi.
Yatyatam panditair dhiraihi.
Atmabhyasa upasthitaihi.
Atmabhyasa upasthitaihi.
These are all preparatory shlokas. Later on, almost 500 and odd verses are there. 582 verses are there. So, later on only the real teaching comes. But the prerequisites, the fundamentals are dealt very deeply here. So now it is only beginning, where Shankaracharya says, Sanyasya sarva karmani. Sarva karmani karma kandoktani swarupataha parityajya. Whatever the karma kanda Veda Bhaga has said, giving up all that. For many of us, there is nothing to give up because we have never started that. Shastra, there is prakrita karma, vaidika karma, naishkarmya. Prakrita karma is karma for our livelihood and worldly actions. Vedic actions are not for anything, it is just to control discipline. Even that actions are given up. Sanyasya sarva karmani, all actions. For what? Not for seeing mobile. Not for any other engagements. He is giving up that for meditation. See, sometimes when that real absorption comes, this karma will fall. That is from another side you look at it. There is a Krishna Bhakti work, Krishna Karnamritam, where the devotee says, a Brahmana has to do Sandhya Vandana. He has to take bath early in the morning and sometimes afternoon and evening, thrice. He has to take bath. So, this devotee says, O Snana, a Namaskara to you. Sandhya Vandana, another Namaskara to you. I am not at all aware of time. Sandhyavandana bhadramastu bhavate. Sandhyavandana, be safe with whoever is performing. Snanam, be safe with whoever is performing. Bhosnana tubhyam namaha. So, I am this. When I chanted this verse in Bhagavata Saptaham, one boy said, please give me in writing that shloka. My mother is constantly telling me to take bath and do Sandhya Vandanam. It is not for you. One who is absorbed in Bhagavan, Bhakti, for him that state comes, he is not able to do. So that is the highest Samadhi absorption. But here, this is preparation. The person, because you first of all, you are afraid of Shastra. That is the sign of a good person, a noble person. He is afraid of Shastra. So he will not cross that boundary. So here, Shastra itself is giving him license. Now you are qualified to go beyond. Qualified to do Vyutkrama, transcending. Now you can meditate. Nobody will disturb. And not only that, there is another side of it. So it's all pure compassion. Only those who have walked that path, they will know. What Shastra says, after taking sannyasa, if you do those actions which you were doing earlier, like Vedic actions, not bad actions, then that is a sin. Even that is a prohibited thing. For him, even that is not prescribed. So, because you are expected to do Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana, constant meditation, nothing else. Meditation means Atma Vichara. And of course, when we go into that plane of pure spirituality, there is Upasana also, there is Seva, Karma also, everything enters there. But when you are in the Vedanta plane, here what is expected is only this. There is one shloka which says, Uttama Sahajavastha. The best thing is to be established in that natural Nirvikalpa sthiti, Sahaja Nirvikalpa. Uttama Sahajavastha. Madhyama Dhyāna Dharana. If you cannot abide in that state, at least do listening, meditation and absorption. Try, struggle. Dhyāna Dharana. Adhama, the lowest. Adhama doesn't mean bad. The lowest is Shastra Charcha. You have constantly spent your time in talking, meditating on Shastra. Adhama Shastra Charcha cha Tirtha Yatra Adhamadhama. Going to this Tirtha Kshetra, that Tirtha Kshetra, it is lower than the lowest. This is a shloka. It's not pramana or anything. It says, so at least be in the Adhama. Even that is good. You go from this Tirtha Kshetra, that Tirtha Kshetra, Satsanga, that is also good. At least stay there. Then slowly Shastra Vichara, then Dhyāna Dharana, then Sahaja Nirvikalpa. So that is the way, that is the path. So, okay. So, Sannyasya Sarva Karmani, all the Karmakanda karmas are all given up. Then what should I do? Bhavabandha Vimuktaye. To come out of this, as Swami Vivekananda says, one of his householder disciple, he was criticizing a sannyasi. It is there in that 8 volumes. They said, hey, Swami Vivekananda said, hey, If you are a real courageous, brave one, if you dare to do that, jump out of this nonsense, what they call this samsara. If you cannot do that, don't speak ill about others. Pancharadiva kesari, like a lion breaking out of a cage. If you dare to do that, come out of it. When you see that this is certain words of Swami Vivekananda, they are all very powerful. One place he says about body idea, the greatest superstition is this body idea, he says. He calls it superstition. The greatest superstition is this body idea. You consider that this is real. So, bhavabandha vimuktaye, to be free of this bondage of samsara, give up all the desire-oriented action, involvement in the world, and then yatyatam, put effort. Panditaihi dhiraihi, you should be a pandita. That is another word which is corrupted. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishtaset. First you should attain that Pandityam. Pandityam means what? Panda atma vishaya matihi esham tehi panditaha. A pandita means one who has atma jnanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, a pandita never grieves. Nanu shochanti panditaha. There only Shankaracharya says Pandita means another synonym for Jnani, not a scholar. That is why in Tamil you can see great devotees are called Pandaram. It also comes from that word Panda. And in North you will see Brahmins or priests are called Pandas. Pandaram. And even Shiva is called Pandaram. Subramanya Swami is called Pandaram. Moola Pandaram, adu Bandaram nenikirathu. Adu enakku oru doubt adu. Moola Bandaram vazhangugindran vandu mundumine adu dhaan, right? Appo so Pandityam nisheshayana krutva, then you transcend that, become like a child, says the Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishtaset. So, bhavabandha vimuktaye, to be free of this samsara bandha, put all effort, panditaihi dhiraihi. You should be a dhira. Dhira means you should dare to do that. Do not look back. Upanishad says, who is a dhira? He says, Bhagavan created all the senses extrovert. Manufacturing defect. That is what Kathopanishad says. Paranchikahani vyatrinat. He says, he destroyed, he spoiled the thing. He turned it outward and wrote in all Shastras, turn inward. What should we do? Everything is turned outward, and now somebody is sitting here and saying, look inward, look inward. How to look inward? Paranchikhani vyadrinat swayambhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. So everybody is seeing outer things, not the antaratma. Kasyit dhiraha. Kasyit means one, a single person, a unique person. He is a dhira, he is a brave one. He dared to do that. He turned the senses inward. He mastered that skill of looking within. Antarmukhatva. That is what we said 2 days before. Why should you need an outer teacher who is a Jivan Mukta? Because without such a presence, this energy to turn inward will not happen. You can read in books, you can listen in the internet. No. You will get the knowledge, but the subtle energy, Chit Shakti is needed. Bhagavata says, Mayam Vyutasya Chit Shaktya Kaivalye Sthita Atmani. To transcend Maya, the Chit Shakti should be awakened. The Chit Shakti wakes up only in the presence of a Mukta Purusha. So, for Panditaihi Dhiraihi, they should be Dhira, brave ones. And what should they do? Atmabhyasa upasthitai. Their abhyasa. Abhyasa means again and again and again. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana, nothing. Avarti rasakrudupadeshat. As Brahma Sutra says, Bhagavan Vedavyasa says, avarti. Again and again do that. Asakrit. Sakrit means once. Asakrit means many times. Constantly. Nothing else. Day and night. Asuptehe kalam. Amrtehe kalam. That is what they say. Morning you wake up. Then till you go to sleep, what should I do? Vedanta vichara. Atma dhyana. Nothing else. Then, like that, how many days? Till you drop the body. Amritehe kalam. Nayed Vedanta Chintaya. How is it possible to do that? That is possible only when you find joy in that. When you find joy in this alaukika vishaya, in this transcendental thing, when you find joy in spiritual life, in bhakti, in jnanam, japa, dhyana, only that, nothing else. If you can live like that, Shankaracharya, in one of his verses, Shivananda Lahari says, a person who spends his whole day in spiritual things is a Jivan Mukta. Because no time for samsara. Kanjit kalam umamahesha bhavatah padara vindarchanaihi kanchit dhyana samadhibhisya natibihi kanchit katha karnanaihi kanchit avekshanaischa nutibihi kanchit dasham idrishim yaha prapunoti muda tvadarpita manaha jivan samuktaha khalu. He is Jivan Mukta because he lives his whole day muda, with happiness, doing either japa or dhyana or deep meditation or samadhi or nama sankirtana. Somehow his time is spent spiritually. There is no time for Maya to enter. The time is also one power of Maya. You give space, she will enter. So no time. Such a person, to spend time like this, you should be absolutely free. So that is meant by sadhana, mumukshu. So atmabhyasa, again taking the mind towards Atman, towards one's own swarupa, shanaihi uparamet, buddhya dhriti grihitaya, atma samstam manah kritva na kinchitapi chintayet. Slowly guide the mind towards the Atman, your own self, the I am within, that aham, that swaswarupa, and make it abide there. Do not initiate any thought. This is possible only when all these tendencies have given you freedom. They have given you visa. They are not there to disturb you. That is what is meant by renunciation. 3-4 days before we were talking about that. What is renunciation? Renunciation is that nothing is there to pull you out. Nothing is there to pull you, take you away from God. Nothing is there to disturb you. That is renunciation. So, that Atmabhyasa, here Shankaracharya uses the word Atmabhyasa. again and again. Abhyasa means repetition. Abhyasa means coming back again and again to abide in Atma, in Swaswarupa, to abide in one's own real nature, nothing else. This can be done by Dhira, a brave one, and then Pandita, one who has that right Samyak Jnana is Pandita, not other things. See, formerly this confusion itself was not there because books were very rare. Books were not there. A person who wants to know Brahmavidya, see, even about 100 years back, now everybody knows Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, all these names, all of us know. Even if those who have not studied, they also know these names. This Prasthanatrayam, everybody is saying. But few years back, common people will not know these things. They would have studied the Vedas, the Karma Kanda Bhaga, and they will have the information that such a life exists when they see a sannyasi, a monk who has gone beyond it. And when they get that vairagyam, they renounce and go to a teacher, then only they see the Upanishad. And that too, the Shastra says, importance is not given to learning so much. The fruit of learning is freedom. So they go and listen from a master to one Upanishad. And that is enough. From that, he gets what is that knowledge, he gets that. Then what? Then get absorbed in that. Contemplate on that knowledge. Make it Viryavattaram Bhavati. Shankaracharya says the knowledge becomes Viryavattaram. Means it never gets overpowered by outer invasion. Prarabdha. When Prarabdha comes, our Brahmavidya will run away. He says, oh, very difficult, very difficult. Shankaracharya himself says, Mahan Shokaha, I have this sadness, my family has become like this, my experience is like that, I have no money, I have no food, I have no job, I am this, I am that. All this kartrutva, bhoktrutva affects you. If that is not affecting, even if the person is outwardly very poor, have difficult days, even then, you see, Bhagavata gives a story, about Kuchela, Sudama, Krishnasya Asit Saka, very interesting story. The story begins like this. Krishnasya Asit Saka Kashit. Krishna had a friend. And who was that friend? Brahmana. He was a true Brahmana. What kind of Brahmana? Brahmavittamaha. He was a supreme knower of Brahman. Brahmano Brahmavittamaha. Not only that, a Brahmavittama can be like Janaka, a king also. Viraktaha indriyartheshu. Intense dispassion. Prashantatma, one who has attained absolute peace. Prashantatma, Jitendriyaha, has conquered the senses. This is the picture that Bhagavata gives about that Gujarati Brahmin. Your place. And the story we know, he goes to see Krishna with little poha, aval. Poha is a Hindi word, no? So if we say poha, the Westerners, I don't think it will make any sense to them. Eh? Okay, whatever it may be. It's aval. So he took that in a very torn out cloth. And he went to see Krishna. And the scene is very beautiful because when Krishna saw him coming, Krishna ran and hugged him, and tears were flowing out of Krishna's eyes. Not only that, no. When he embraced Kuchela, Krishna had a whole body was in goosebumps. Romancha. The reason is, Bhagavata says, Sakyuhu. He was his friend, first of all. A normal reason. Priyasya. He is very dear to him. Who is dear to Krishna? Who? Question. The Kadava Chatviko. Again, very much. Let us read Who is dear to Krishna? Eh? Ah. Eh? Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrah karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridha nishayah mayyarpita mano buddhihi yo mad bhaktaha saha me priyaha. Bhagavan says, if a bhakta has all these attributes, these signs, no aversion towards, hatred towards anyone, friendly towards all, compassionate, no mindness, I, ego, such a bhakta is very dear to me, he says. So when he saw Kuchela coming, he was in Romanja. And he was crying. Malayalam, one poet sang, he said, the person who has never shed tears was shedding tears. Tears of bliss, ananda. So, Sakyuhu priyasya viprarsehe anga sanga ati nirvrtaha. Nirvrti came. Prito vyamunjad abbindun netrabhyam pushkarekshana. So, it is possible that difficulties are there in the world. Things are all not according to your wish, not anukula. In that situation, the person is very calm, unaffected by the power of Brahma Vidya. That is greatness. By the power of Brahma Vidya, by the power of knowledge, Jnanam. So, that is the power of Jnanam which never gets affected by the invasion of Prarabdha. Otherwise, Prarabdha will shake. It will make everyone cry. So, when the person is not affected by Prarabdha, by the power of Jnanam, that is the Brahmanishta, Viryam of Jnanam. Till that, till the Jnanam becomes so powerful, this Atma Abhyasa should be done. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Constant Nididhyasana should be done. So, this is the beginning. Now, Bhagavad Pada says, so what should we do about this karma? Karma. What should we do? Worldly actions are there, Vedic actions are there, prescribed actions are there. For what are they? Why are they prescribed? Next verse. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye vastu siddhir vicharena nakinchit karma kotibhihi. The extent to which the karma can take you, you perform the karma as an offering to Bhagavan. As we said yesterday, Karma Yoga is really Bhakti Yoga. Without Bhakti, Karma cannot become Yoga. Simply defining Karma Yoga as performing action without seeking result, this fan is also doing. We are not giving anything to it. Our grinder is doing every day dosha mavu, and not a single dosha we have given to that grinder. Then you can say this grinder is a great karma yogi. So it is jadam. That is why Bhagavan said karma kim param karma ta jadam. That sheer action is inert. So it is not by action. When you are becoming aware of Bhagavan, swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. By one's action, you are worshipping that Vishwarupa. Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brid Deva Pujanam, as Bhagavan said. This Vishwam is his form. So there, by every action, you are worshipping that Vishwatma, that Bhagavan. And when you get that knack, then you become a Bhakta. Then your action purifies you. Your mind becomes pure. And when the mind is pure, naturally you will ask, what is my Swarupa? Kim Swarupam? You will ask, if you are have the samskara of bhakti, then you will feel that bhakti. When the mind is pure, when you see a temple gopuram, bhakti will come. A good divine book, you will feel elated. You see Arunachala from distance, your heart throbs. Because it has reached that point. Due to selfless devotional action, the mind became pure, and the pure mind, longing for the divine, arises either as bhakti or as jnanam, or sometimes as yoga also. You want to be still. Somehow, as according to the samskar of each person, the spiritual flowering begins. So, that to that extent, karma, Bhagavan gives a very beautiful mantric words. Bhagavan's words are all mantras. Bhagavan says, karma carries the seed of its own destruction in its own womb. You perform karma in such a way that it takes you, when you are qualified for the higher life. Bhagavan says, when you are qualified for the higher life, even if you hunt for action, you will not get it. That is what he says. Even if you hunt for action, you will not get it. Before that, even if you try to avoid it, to Arjuna, that is why Krishna says, Yadi ahankaram ashritya nayotse iti manyase. By sheer ego, you tell, I will not fight. It is not possible for you. Nayotse iti mithyaisha vyavasayaste. Your resolve, your decision is mithya. It is not true. Prakriti stvam niyokshati. Your prakriti will drive you to action. When Ramakrishna told Swami Vivekananda as Narendra that you have to go whole world and teach, Narendra could not even imagine that. He said, no, I cannot do that. Then Ramakrishna said, each cell in your body will do it. You say, I cannot do, each cell in your body will do it. Because you are born for that. What to do? Even if you try to give it up, you cannot give it up. You will end up doing. So, when that is over, even if you try to do, it will not be there. So, natu vastu upalabdhaye. Karma cannot give you atma jnanam. You go on doing, you will be going on doing. Somewhere Dr. Radhakrishnan says, this going on doing good business is more of going on than doing. He says, doing good. It is going on and on. So, chittasya shuddhaye karma. When you perform karma as bhakti, mind becomes pure. But through that you will not attain. Then how will you attain? Vastu siddhihi vicharena. By atma vichara alone one attains jnanam. Chunga chavadi tappad. As Bhagavan said, you cannot escape from this toll. Ultimately you end up there. So, when the mind becomes sufficiently pure, you will have this inner inspiration to do vichara, atma vichara. The power of vichara will be kindled. When Bhagavad Anugraha comes, that is the sign. In Yoga Vasishta, Narasimha Swami is giving blessing to Prahlada. You know what is the blessing? I have always found that is a very good blessing. Where he says, Brahma Vishranti Paryantaha Vicharaha Astu Tavanagha. He says, my dear sinless child, till your mind is absolutely absorbed in Brahman, I give you power to do vichara. So this is the greatest blessing. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. When you do karma, the chitta becomes shuddha. Not vastu siddhi. Vastu means the thing in itself. That is atma jnanam. You will not get. Vastu siddhihi vicharena. That vastu siddhi you get. Atma jnanam you get by atma vichara. By inquiry. By turning your attention towards that. And Shankaracharya adds, Nakinchit karma koti bihi. Not even by millions of good actions. Crores of good actions. You go on doing this, that, yajna, yaga, everything. Maximum distance it can take is like auto rickshaw you come, it will leave you there. Like that, karma can bring you up to it can make you read the board in the bus Tiruvannamalai. That's all. Oh, Tiruvannamalai. There it ends. It will bring you to Ishvara Anugraha. As Parikshit says, very beautiful words. He feels very sad because he committed a sin. A sage was sitting in samadhi. Instead of worshipping the sage, he took a dead serpent and put it like a garland in his neck. Because he felt very hungry and thirsty. And he didn't get water or food in the ashrama. Instead, the sage is meditating. He could, at that time, due to the fire of hunger, he could not even imagine that such absorption is possible. And he came back. Then later on, belated wisdom, he started crying. What did I do? Trinabhumishwaraha. Arhavaryambu Trinabhumishwaraha. He says, our ancestors they were all Ishwaras. Ishwara means lords. What kind of lords? They had bhumi. Bhumi means land. What kind of land? The land where there were lot of grass. Not that. What kind of grass? He says, the grass grown by the water that has fallen in the earth by washing the feet of saints. Arhavaryambu, the realized sages and saints were worshipped, and that water has fallen in that earth and their grass has grown. By that land they were all blessed. In such Vamsha, family I was born, and still I committed this sin. Thus he was crying. So much good things are done, noble actions are done, that the power made him pure and take the decision when he actually, even this blunder was a blessing for him. He did a blunder, but because of that he became dispassionate, virakta. 1 minute, he left everything, came to the bank of Ganga. No thinking back, nothing. He says that curse was an anugraha. Because of that shapa, that Brahmana boy did not curse me, he gave me Brahmajnana through his curse. Because of that I am here, listening to Shukacharya. So the action performed in such a way purifies the mind, kindles vairagyam, vivekam, and also outwardly invokes an enlightened master. This contact becomes possible. That much it does, nothing else. After that, the person has to do Atma Vichara, Jnana Vicharam. So, Vicharasya Vastupalabdhi Hetutvam Trishtantena Vishadayati Samyagiti Samyak Vicharata Siddha Rajjutatvavadharana Bhrantyodita Mahasarpa Bhavadukha Vinashini. By Atma Vichara, this Dukkha, Samsara Dukkha is removed. Like you see, when you see a serpent in a rope, you cannot kill that serpent. You cannot with mantra invoke that serpent and send it somewhere, because it does not exist. That is what Bhagavan says. Bhagavan, how to control the mind. We seriously ask him. Bhagavan's reply is, it doesn't exist. Bhagavan, it exists. That is what the person who looks at the water in mirage says, it exists. But when you go and look at it, it does not exist. So too you say the mind is there, mind is there. If you believe mind is there, then only way is struggle to control it, yoga. And at last you will come to the knowledge that neither the mind exists, nor the body exists, nor the world exists. Ekameva advitiyam nehana nasti kinchana. One non-dual truth, essence alone exists, nothing else exists. When that becomes firm, the person is free. Uruvanam unnai olittu evar varuvar. Then why am I seeing so much plurality? Shud. Un shude id arunachala. Bhagavan says this is deception, delusion. Wake up from this dream, this vacant dream, and recognize that non-dual truth, that one Atma, Shuddha Chaitanyam, which has taken all these names and forms and playing with you. You are also that. So playing. So this is Advaita Jnana. Now the time is up. We will continue tomorrow. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva,
Arunachala Shiva,
Arunachala.